What up guys, John here today bringing you a UU match versus Emma from ThreeStarGaming. She challenged me on YouTube, I accepted it via Skype, and this is what we had as a battle. It was UU like I said, and my team is brand new because I didn't want to use a team that I've already shown off, because I want to just I just want to keep it original and fresh. And I made it just before the battle because I needed a team and I didn't have another UU team, because I got rid of all the teams that I had because I didn't like them all and just started fresh, and that's why I only have a few teams that I'm only showcasing now. So yeah, my team is very offensive with the Chandelure, Ampipalm, Bisharp and Nidoking. I like to run offensive teams because I like quick matches. I don't like stall, and it's apparent on her team as well. She doesn't have stall as well. She has a Nidoking, a Honchkrow, and Meloetta as a big attackers, and then Frostlass, probably Spikes, and Animamonia I think it's defensive, and then Snorlax especially defensive. Looking at it, only threats would be Nidoking and Honchkrow for me, but apart from that I'll be alright. And let's just see how it goes. I mean, come on, let's get into the battle. So she left with Frostlass because that's the only possible lead potentially. I'll go with my Ampipalm because I think Low Sweep is super effective on ghost types, and just leave that alone. She gets with a taunt, and as I switch out, knowing she thinks I'm locked into it, and it's good playing her part, she goes for the Thunder Wave and smashes my Chandelure on the switch in. Choice Scarf Chandelure does not appreciate Paralysis at all. It's useless now. She sets up a first layer of spikes, I'll get paralyzed. She sets up a second layer of spikes as I smash her in the face with a Shadow Ball, and that is good game. Frostlass. I don't like Frostlass, it's an annoying Pokemon, and do not play me and use a Frostlass. Nightmares that Pokemon gives me. It's so annoying at some point, especially with a Focus Sash and Destiny One. I hate that set so much. When she goes into a Snorlax and whirlwinds out my Chandelure, as I had to switch out, and I switched out to something or other, my Bronzong probably, and she whirlwinds me out into my Zapdos, and now I go back into my Bronzong because spikes aren't going to hurt me, and she goes into Nidoking but doesn't want to take a hit or anything like that. I switch out as well, so much switching happening as I go into my Chandelure pretty much as death. I do not want to take any more hits. My Chandelure is pretty much useless as I go for the Hidden Paralyze, and oh no, Paralyze. She over predicted with the Pursuit. I went for the Hidden Paralyze, but I get paralyzed and she's able to finish me off the Pursuit. Get a +1 Moxie, which kind of shows me that she's a Choice Scarf set, and I'm able to go into my Bisharp pretty safely, knowing that I'm not going to take a superpower or anything like that early on. I go for the Swords Dance, and at this point this is pretty much a game changer. I go for the Sucker Punch. She doesn't predict that, and she goes down, and bye-bye Nidoking. That's a massive threat out the way very early on in the matchup, and I'm thinking, yes, it's better. After my misplays earlier on, I can get this. She goes into a Usain Bolt, her Snorlax, and takes the hit and whirlwinds me out into my Nidoking. I crit her with the Earth Power. I'm not sure how much that matters. Snorlax is especially defensive, but yeah, it could have mattered. I'm not particularly sure. If anyone wants to run damage count, we're just going to assume 252 in HP and special defense. I might want to do later if I wanted to, but not at the moment. Going to my Zapdos after she protects on my Thunderbolt, I kind of reveal that I'm not a Scarf set, and I switch out into my Zapdos, predicting a switch, but not knowing what into, and I can just go for Thunderbolts now on this Meloetta and try and stall it out. Knowing that I'm especially defensive, I can take hits from this thing. I can go for Roost all day and pretty much stall it out, and then once I get the Toxic on its Toxic stall, I kind of love Toxic stalling. It's the one type of stall that I like. I'm a very offensive player, but my defensive Pokemon usually have Toxic. My Bronzong doesn't because it's a Light Clay Reflect Light Screen set with Staff Rocks and Earthquake, but my Zapdos, my defensive Zapdos, anything defensive that can learn Toxic will pretty much have Toxic for me, because I love stalling with it because it's really effective, and if you get him in for a couple of turns, it would really work out. I would really like to use a mean look Toxic set. It would be so cool, but that would take some time to perfect and get right, and it has to have the right Pokemon around it so it can work effectively, and I have to get the switches right. So yeah, so there's been a bunch of stalling going on. Zapdos versus Meloetta is a very, very big matchup, and I can take it out now because I switched in my Bisharp, predicting the Psychic as she dies to toxic damage. I wanted to save my Zapdos for later as Death Fodder, even though it is asleep because of the Reddit song. And if I wanted to use Death Fodder like I am going to, it can be effective, especially if she brings in a Scarf Pokemon, and I can just see what move is going to lock herself into. And there we go, she locks herself into Superpower, and I am free to go into anything and wall the crap out of it. And at this time I choose to go to Ampipalm to get a Fake Out and see it for a kill. Choice Banded Jolly Fake Out on a minus defense Honchkrow does not take it out. Stab Technician. God, Ampipalm, you're terrible. I don't like you anymore. God, I don't know how it lived that hit. So now I have to sacrifice my Bisharp, and unfortunately Bisharp goes down, and it's all Ampipalm's fault. I could have gone to Ampipalm here, but I didn't want him to switch out into her Alma mode and then get up some wishes. So I go for the Stealth Rocks with my bronze on, and then gets a massive stall wall. The Stealth Rocks are there because if Hansgrohe switches back in, it can't take the wish because it'll die from Stealth Rock entry, and that's a very, very nice play on my part. I like that play. But now I can go for Reflect and Light Screen and pretty much go for Earthquakes and try and do some damage. Nothing's really happening at this point, but I go for the second Reflect now, knowing that because I had the Reflect up, my Ambipom and Nina King can take a hit and go for whatever move they desire. I first go into Ambipom, try and get some fake out damage up, but she's aware to that and goes for the Protect. Just because I'm choice banded and the fake out was pretty obvious, she can make sure I switch out without her receiving any damage, which was a good plan on her part. But now I can switch into the Nina King and pretty much finish the game, because I can take a waterfall from the Alma because of my Reflect, and then I can proceed to go for the Thunderbolt and take it out straight away, and that'd be a good game, Emma. So if you enjoyed it, please do right rating. Go check out Emma's channel because she does a lot of content, especially Spyro. I saw a lot of Spyro on her channel. So rate, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and goodbye.